Howdy, and welcome back to the Texas Bucket List. Here in Texas, border security is a hot topic. The line between the Lone Star State and Mexico stretches over 1,200 miles, and protecting it is a tough job. Now, we're not here to focus on the best way to do that, but rather the history of how it's been done and how dangerous of a job it can be.
From Brownsville to El Paso, Texas shares a long line of border with our neighbors to the south. A river may separate us, but in most border towns, commuting back and forth is an everyday affair. But there are those who don't have the best intentions, and that's where the Border Patrol comes in.
When did you first come to the Border Patrol?
April 2nd, 1972.
What made you decide to do that?
It paid more than teaching did.
David Ham retired from the Border Patrol in 2003, but now he helps tell the story of the agency's long history at the Border Patrol Museum in El Paso.
Immigration is a very political issue right now, yes.
That's why we're going to focus on the history of these agents that have one heck of a responsibility.
We enforce the laws that the people who elected their congressmen have passed. And that's our job, is to enforce the law. And we try and do it as humanely as possible.
Around 18,000 Border Patrol agents safeguard the borderline between the U.S. and Mexico. But when the Border Patrol was established, bootlegging was the biggest issue.
The big thing when it started was Prohibition era. I mean, that was the bloodiest era in our history. We lost more agents in that time period than any other, both here and on the northern border. That's basically their primary job from 1924 up until Prohibition ended, I think, in '34.
As David started his career, the job itself started to change.
The early 70s, late 60s and early 70s was when the cartels started moving drugs big time.
Even though the majority of the Border Patrol's attention has shifted south, the mission has stayed the same.
You know, you read about the early history and really nothing really has changed. It's, you know, people try to smuggle and people try to come here, and it's gotten a lot more sophisticated. These are devices that they use to try and disguise their tracks.
Trying to make it appear as a horse came through.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and this is real popular right now, the rugs and the foam. They use a lot of that. It's a never-ending chase, and they change and we have to change with them. This is our hang glider. It was caught in Lordsburg, New Mexico. Had about 250 pounds of dope. Had one pilot and there was two guys on the ground. The pilot said he got his training in one of the resorts in Mexico, and they would fly tourists, and that's how he learned how to fly one.
The seized items in the collection don't just include vehicles, but also weapons.
This is a homemade, home-built shotgun, that zip gun they called it, that someone built. This is one of the early seized weapons that they had from during the Prohibition era. Sawed-off shotguns, MAC-10s, double-barrel shotgun, and Uzi down there. You can see the AK-47. They're just as well armed as we are. So.
The Border Patrol has to be as fast as the smugglers, too. That's why they've got some souped-up cars.
This is a Firebird that was part of Operation Roadrunner out of the Tucson sector.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's very fast. I got to drive it when they brought it here. It's got the seafoam green color combination. Why is it seafoam green? Because that was the cheapest paint they could buy.
Well, I guess seafoam got unpopular in '91, but I think y'all should go back to that.
Actually, this is what I grew up with,
yeah.
so.
I think it looks awesome.
I think it looks good.
Yes. I bet you that thing just hums down the highway.
It does. It is fast.
Over the years, 124 men and women who have protected our border have made the ultimate sacrifice. Here at the museum, they honor each and every one.
That's probably the most meaningful thing to me is the fact I knew these guys and they gave their life. So, you know, it's just like war. You lose people and it affects you. You're protecting the United States.
So stop by the U.S. Border Patrol Museum in El Paso to see the hardware and hear how harrowing protecting the northern and southern borders of America can be.
You get to see the type of people that these smugglers are and how they treat these people, and to arrest those people and take apart that smuggling organization you get a lot of satisfaction out of that.